Sister Wives star Janelle Brown opens up about the final hours of son Garrison's life. A heartbreaking farewell content warning. This story contains discussions of suicide. It was a day that began like any other, but ended in unimaginable heartbreak. March 4th, 2024, started out as an ordinary day for Sister Wives star Janelle Brown. The mother of six, newly relocated to North Carolina to be near her eldest daughter Madison and grandkids, was heading back to Flagstaff, Arizona. It was a simple trip, routine by all accounts. What she didn't know then, what none of the Brown family could have known, was that she was texting her son Garrison for the last time. That day, 25-year-old Robert Garrison Brown, known simply as Garrison to the millions who followed the Sister Wives family on TLC, was exchanging messages with his mother just like he always did. "We talked all the time," Janelle shared in the emotional May 4th episode of Sister Wives. "Probably 3 times a day. It was just part of our routine." There were no red flags, no ominous words, just a mother staying close to her son, as she always had. But behind those familiar texts was a young man grappling with darkness. I knew he was struggling. Janelle was open about Garrison's ongoing battle with mental health. His struggles with anxiety and depression had become part of his daily life. But as she revealed through tears, she never imagined that March 4th would be the last time they spoke. "I always picked up the phone," Janelle said. "No matter what I was doing. If Garrison needed to talk, I answered. He needed that connection." And that night, they had connected. Their texts weren't particularly emotional or intense, nothing that would suggest a looming tragedy. But Janelle, aware that Garrison had been drinking, a familiar and worrying pattern, decided to loop in her older sons, Logan and Hunter. "He'd go through these phases where he was doing great," Janelle said, "and then suddenly there'd be a binge. It was part of the cycle." So she reached out to Logan and Hunter, the family's unofficial support squad. "We tag team for him," she explained. "I asked them to check in, see if he'd respond to them. They told me, 'Mom, we're on it.' So I went to bed feeling like he was covered." But no one was prepared for what came next. The call no parent should ever receive. The following morning, Janelle woke to a call that shattered her world. It was her son Gabriel on the line. His voice trembled. "Mom, he's gone." The words hit like a freight train. Janelle's mind could barely process what she was hearing. "What do you mean?" she asked. Gabriel replied, "He's dead. He killed himself." Time seemed to stop. "I don't remember the next few minutes," Janelle recalled, "but I got in the car. I just drove." She headed straight to Garrison's home, her heart pounding, her mind reeling. On the way, she called Madison, trying to find the words, trying to piece together what was happening. Other members of the sprawling Brown family began to mobilize. Mary Brown, who's had her own complicated history within the polygamist family, didn't hesitate. "I called Janelle," Mary said. "I told her, I'm stopping for food, and I'll be there soon. I didn't know what else to do, but I had to do something." A battle fought with love and heartbreak. For Janelle, the pain of losing Garrison is compounded by how hard they all tried to keep him afloat. "He had anxiety, depression," she told her sister Carrie, "and then he started drinking to try and cope with it." But what began as a coping mechanism soon became a monster of its own. "It became the animal he couldn't control," Janelle said. The entire family saw the warning signs. They rallied, supported, intervened. But mental illness doesn't always show mercy. Sometimes, despite all the love in the world, it still wins. "We knew he was in a bad place," Janelle said. "We were doing everything we could for him, but he couldn't get on top of it." A final goodbye. In the days that followed, grief mingled with the logistics of farewell. Decisions had to be made, even when emotions were still raw. Janelle and her ex-husband, Cody Brown, whose often complicated relationship had played out publicly on television, came together in their shared heartbreak. Cody and I decided we would cremate him, Janelle explained. I knew that's what he wanted, and it gave us the time to plan a funeral at a better time of year. They agreed that Garrison's final resting place should be in Wyoming, on the family's land, a place he had always loved, a place that felt like home. He loved it there, said Janelle, so it felt right. Cody echoed that sentiment. I remember sitting there with Janelle, he recalled. I just said, I want to take my boy home. I wanted to bury him next to Grandma Cheryl, and we both agreed it was the right thing to do. A legacy of love, a story that needs to be heard. Garrison Brown's death has left